Okay, so just a little bit about our team. So I'm John Haggerty. I'm the director of sales. I'm located in New York, here in the U.S. I've been in this business for a little over 25 years, specifically in the technology solution sector. So both from a selling around all solutions, as well as implementation and services as an analyst and a consultant, mainly in the Microsoft and SAP world. I worked at Microsoft for a little over 13 years as a solution technology specialist and a solution seller around that platform. Before that, I was an SAP implementation consultant. So been around the block. A lot of times those two technologies come together. So it's a good story to have. We're going to really concentrate today more on the SAP side of the house, but look forward to the overview and getting some feedback from you folks here on the call. I also have Raul with us. He's our solution architect. He'll be covering the demonstration as well as a few slides, and he'll just give a quick introduction about himself when he takes over. Okay, so that's a little bit about us. So a little bit about the company, right? We're Diligent Global. You probably have not heard of us, but we've been around for quite a while. We've been in the technology service solution space for about 15 years. Actually, the founders of the company came over from SAP. From that, we started with SAP and we've delivered into multiple platforms. Like I mentioned, Microsoft is our other key platform, but we also have experience in AWS, Tricentis, et cetera. So we know most of the core platforms that are out there, especially the key ones that we're talking about today, which is SAP. We have over 130 customers. We are very heavy in the pharmaceutical space, the healthcare space, manufacturing space, some retail, and a few others. But I would say pharma, manufacturing, healthcare are key. We have over 400 skilled staff, so consultants, ABAP code developers, system analysts, et cetera, testers, trainers, you name it. Many are certified. We're in actually, I don't know, 4 continents. So we're sort of South America, North America, Asia, India. We're in 10 countries across the board. And like I said, we've been doing this for a while. And we're a mature organization. Most of our consultants are very familiar with ISO CMML3 compliance regulations around that. We have 6+ Center of Excellence awards. We have multiple solutions and we have multiple products, the one we're talking about today. And they're actually sold in the SAP store, the Microsoft store. And they've been around for some time now. Okay, so that's a little bit about Diligent, and I'm just going to push this slide out. So our portfolio, right, is, and for this relevant to the conversation we're having today, obviously is around SAP. So, Rise with SAP, extremely important. Business AI and Joule, right, the standard or the AI platform that's built in SAP, that, AI in general, everybody's talking about. So, it's all about business process optimization, digital transformation, digital analytics, machine learning, all of those things. And these tools sort of come into play, especially around the business technology as a platform, right? So it's core application, core code, things like that. We'll talk about more in the overview session, the demonstration session when we get into a little bit of the details. I mentioned, that we have products. So we're talking about the smart code migration tool. So that's the custom code migration. So dark to cloud, think of on-prem to cloud services and all the things behind the scenes that have to happen for that to move. We'll talk about that in much detail today. We also have other products, User Access Shield, which is a security management compliance solution built on the SAP platform. ISO compliance, other compliance is very important, especially when you get into like government regulated cloud solutions. Pharma is very key for that because you have to have standards and policies and processes you have to adhere to as you go through. That's another tool on top of the code migration tool that comes into play. And Diligini is basically an IT services management tool. So think of your help desk management solution, right? From start to finish, level 1 or level 1 help desk support tickets to level 5, all the things in between. We have a tool that manages that seamlessly. And then Dillavision is more of like a safety automated AI powered solution that's more built on the Microsoft platform. But all of those tools well, the top three are all available in the SAP store. The Dillavision is available in the Microsoft store. Okay. And then when you take sort of everything, what we do from our service offerings, it's really about transformation, right? Digital transformation, driven operations, cybersecurity, all the things that are important, end-to-end digital services in the portfolio, right? So it's about a modern infrastructure, right? Faster deployment, lower cost, uh, easy user acceptance, right? Organizational change management is part of that. All those things that are important to an organization to especially when you get into the farm. I'll just use that as an example, especially with products. Getting to market fast and efficient is key. And these tools that we're going to talk about, especially today, and along with the User Access Shield, are two key tools that really help in that industry, which is extremely important to get products out there to the market as quick as possible. Okay. So a little bit about what we're seeing and understanding a little bit with this whole thing. So today we're talking about smart code migration, right? So it's SAP customers on-prem identifying all this code, everything that they have to move potentially if they're going to go to the cloud solution, right? So we'll talk a little bit of our approach. First one is just about the challenges, the smart modules that we have in play to help you through that journey, right? To make it efficient, as effective as possible. And then we'll get into the tools, the demonstration, and then we'll talk about some of the business impacts and the ROI that you get from actually adopting a solution or a tool like this. Okay, so first thing, what do we see? Challenges, right, for code migration. Time consuming, right? Long time commitment, very manual process, understanding all the code that's out there. All of that has to be reviewed and looked at, right? And then you have to say, hey, based on that, what kind of skill set do we need to do this from a manual effort? So an organization who doesn't have something like smart code migration tool to support that, you have to look at, hey, do we need SAP analysts, developers? We need ABAP developers. Do we need configuration guys? Do we need trainers, testers, break fix folks, right? All these things to make sure that we understand the code that's behind the scenes and what actually has to come over, right? When you get a large audience like that and a large group of people doing this, like this big war room for like the old SAP days, a lot of errors can come out there, right? It's like manual remediation, high risk of errors, some people not talking to one another, some people doing something when other people didn't know what was going on. And then you have to reiterate and refix it and do all that thing. That's all takes time and money, right? So also, I guess the last two key things is about understanding the documentation associated with that. An important part of anything that you do in this space is to document everything that has to happen. Sometimes that gets lost in transition across the different folks that are part of the entire team. Okay. And then understanding like what all of the releases that have been done over the years on your on-prem version, all that custom code remediation has to be accounted for, what's going to be bought over, what might not be bought over, all of that kind of stuff. So how do we sort of look at this and what's our approach across this solution? It's all about automation, right? Especially when you talk about things like AI and things like that. We just talked about with Joule. The tool will be able to really scan all of these code objects in hours, not weeks. So just think about, the scale that, you're reducing something that's going to take you multiple weeks or longer, maybe months. Now you're doing it in hours or days, right? All that is done because the tool will actually automate it. You lose that huge risk factor, right? Because the tool identifies all the code, it's built-in quality checks. It's almost like an iteration process around that, eliminating that human error that I talked about before, right? We could pretty much say that you're going to get a total cost of ownership of up to 75 to 80% because of the amount of reduction you're going to have in the time commitment and the resources that you would need to do all this stuff. So you're really going to maximize your ROI by using a tool like we have versus having a huge team doing this manually. And it's going to be a little simpler, right? Because we're going to have ABAP expertise, streamlined experience within the tool. And then obviously we'll have folks who just, look at that and make sure everything is correct. I talked about this already, faster time to value, which is pretty key. So that's a little bit about our approach, our tools, what who Diligent is, what we're about. You have a very, very strong team across the board here, and I'm going to have Raul sort of take it over from here. We'll get into the nuts and bolts of the actual overview and the demonstration. So Raul, turn it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, John. Thank you. Thanks for your time. So, hi all. I think John
Yep.
introduced me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you want me to just go through the slides and then you want to take over to share? Because I'm still sharing.
Can you just share for me? We'll
Yep,
go a
no
couple of
problem.
slides and then I will take it over from there.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you, John, for all this introduction. So, as John told, I have part of Diligent last 15 years. I'm a solution architect here. So this particular for today's demo, the tool we are talking about, the smart code migration, is also designed and architect by me and my team. So let's go to the each and individual module in this particular tool. So as you able to see the screen, this smart module contains all this services. As you see, the custom code analysis service is there. This then the custom code conversion service is there. Clean code conversion service is there. Validation and testing service, and the documentation and dual maintenance service are there. So these are all kind of a service we encapsulated or integrated in a single platform. Okay, so that the it's very easy for the customer or the user to manage it all their conversions. Okay, John, can you just go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about in the detail for each and every services. I will not take much time here. We'll directly jump to the system. I've just walked through the overview what the each service do it. Okay, so we see the custom code. The first service we are talking about, the custom code analysis service. So basically, this service start with in our ECC system itself, where customer can see and do the analysis of their custom code in the ECC environment. Basically they can check their uses. They can did the analysis of their custom code, and based on that they can decide it either they want to continue their custom code in the new version, or they want to deprecate it. We also offer one of the service called ATC check, because few of the customer which are very low version in the ACC environment, might be EHP lower than the EHP 6 or EHP 5. So at that point of time, SAP is not offer any kind of a standard services where customer can go and see their ATC analysis. So basically, this services help you on that particular part. John, can you just go to the next slide?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, the next service we are talked about is the smart code migration. Is the main core services for our solution, where all the remediation will perform inside this services. Okay, so if you know or familiar with the ATC migration, you know typically in the ATC migrations, you will face the P1, P2, P3 issues. Like P1 is the priority 1 issues, P2 is the priority 2 issues, and P3 is priority 3. So where SAP says you need to be remediate your P1 and P2 issues before once you migrate to the S4 system. Definitely. Without that, the system will not work, or your custom code will not work perfectly. Okay, it will give the any errors or any issues. But P3 is well known if you go and remediate it. If not, it's not bother about. Okay, so basically our solution will help you to remediate all these three P1, P2, P3 issues. Okay, with the AI driven fashion. Okay, we'll go and see it in individual each issues in the demo itself. Okay, uh, John, can you just go to the next slide?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, after that, as we highlighted, there is another service called Clean Core. So you heard this term called Clean Core. Once the SAP started with the S4's system in 2000, early 2018 or 19, after that they come with the new term called Clean Core manner. So this is typically SAP is offering, because there's always the addict whenever you are upgrading your system, either is ECC to S4 or from S4 to S4. Typically any upgrade process, the most of the challenges you face with the custom code only. Okay, so that's why SAP recommended now always go and do the things, or the development or the enhancement, all the things in the clean core manner. Okay, so basically with that, you don't need to do anything in your core system, the S4 system. Instead, you need to use the clean core extensibility options, like on stack options are available, like rep and the cs and all. If not, you can go to the side by side extensibility, like with the help of btp cloud foundry, ABAP, and other stuffs. Okay, so basically we are also offering a one solution where typically you can convert your on stack custom codes in the clean core manner, like your bdcs you return it, you can convert in the clean core manner with the help of wrap objects. Either you can create it your typical alb reports on your ecc environment, you can convert in the rep, and you can simply use in the fury landscape with on the fly. You don't need to do anything at all. I will show you. Okay, John, can you just go to this other slide, the next slide?
Yep.
Thank you so much. Now, not on the last and least, once you did your remediation, it's not a big task, and it performed by the our engine. But typically, the task started. You need to validate how you're going to validate the things. This is correct, remediated or not, and then definitely that's the testing. The huge effort is required on the testing point of view, because in the ECC, one kind of your custom code is working perfectly, and once you remediate it, so you need to be make sure that this should be work on the S4 with the same manner or same fashion what you're able to see in the ECC environment. So definitely this service is also going to help you. It will validate your the changes, and as well as it will create a documentation, the test documentation for you, so that you can validate that the service is working perfectly, the custom code is working perfectly after the migration. Okay, sorry, John, can you just go to the next slide? Perfect. And the last but not the least, that's the documentation and the dual maintenance. So definitely in any of the upgrade project, when the once the your renovation is completed, the every customer is asking for the documentation, because they want to document all the things what we did it so far. And especially in case of our solution, it's going to be remediated by our AI engine or AI engine. So definitely then the customer will ask what how is it's did it and what the changes is done by the AI agent. So basically they needed a proof or some documentation for that. So that's the last thing, you can generate a document with our solution. And definitely one of the solution is the dual maintenance. So you remember because typically whenever we heard about any upgrade project in typically in the SAP, it's a very long journey. Because if you think about maybe just small kind of upgrade project, it took somewhere around 7 or 8 weeks for you. So with that, you cannot go and stop your business. Definitely you need to be work in the similar version. So in case if you are working with the bow environment where you have your upgrade system one side, and there your typically bow system is there, which is going to be support your production environment. So in that condition, definitely very tough for the customer to maintain both the things, right? So our dual maintenance functionality will help you to move the quick changes from your bow environment to the your S4 or remediator system on the fly. Okay, so with that we can in the sync with the your bound landscape and the your typically converted landscape. Okay, so that's what we are going to see on the today's demo. Okay, John, can you just go? Okay, so let me share my screen and just let me know once you're able to see the screen. I'm just sharing it. Right. I hope you're able to see the screen. Can even John or maybe
Yeah,
Nivedita?
you can see it's just a sign. You're signing on now. Yep, I got it all.
Thank you so much.
All right,
So
it's up.
perfect. So basically, this complete solution or utility we built on top of BTP, our BTP landscape. So the thing is, because the BTP is the SAP cloud source solution where we can build any kind of a thing, and it's very scalable. We can connect with any of the customer environment on the fly. Okay, so typically for any of to deploy this particular solution for any of the customer, we just need to do some few of the settings, like we need to whitelist our IP addresses, and we need to do the configurations like destination creation and all. And with that we can connect with the customer environment, and the customer can use this particular solution. Okay, so that's why we choose the BTP environment to host our this complete solution or utility. Okay, so once you're logged in, this is our landing page, you will to see it. So we have segregated all our services in the different section. So we see here, this particular first section is nothing but a code analysis and it is insights, where this will help you on the when you are in the ECC stack itself. This service will help you, okay, on that part. Then on the lower, on the middle section, you will to see our intelligent remediation section, where it's our the core solution for our complete utility, okay. So this will, it will help you to manage or do the remediation for us, okay. And then, and but on the last but not the least, the automation and our add-on services, okay. So let's will today's will focus on completely on our core services, okay. And if you have anything else or any question, we'll take it over in the last. So let's start with our very first service, as I told you, ECC service. So we have multiple services under the ECC umbrella, okay. So very first and very important service called the users analysis. So typically, any of the customer, when they started about the think about the migration from ECC to S4, so because they have so many, they on the going over the period, they have created so many custom code, and even though he don't know or remember so many custom code, is it using or it's not using it, okay. So definitely he wants some kind of a services where he can have a control that what kind of a custom code he want to migrate in the S4 environment, or what kind of a code he want to deprecate it, right. So this particular service will help you on that particular part, okay. So let me just refresh and load it. Just a second. Perfect. Just might be, wait a moment. Just a second. Might be my. Let me open in the incognito. See. Sorry, let me open in the incognito mode. Some cache issue. Perfect. Okay. So typically, when you launch this particular service, it will give this the visual or the graphical presentation of your the custom objects, right? So we have created so many buckets here, like the objects which you used over the period of 365 days, or which you are not used in the 180 days or 90 days, like that. So it's very easy for the customer to identify which object they frequently used it, or which object they frequently not used it, and based on it he can decide it, they want to move these particular objects in their newer S4 version or not, right. So only the thing is, for this particular thing, we are just getting this particular all data from their CCLM or the SCMT. So that's the two sources for us to get this particular data from the customer environment, right. So if you see here, this the visual presentation of all the things, and below you will get the all the detail objects, okay. So if I will short on the based on the descending order, able to see the last use date for particular objects, like this object I used recently only or yesterday. Few of the objects I used maybe last month or like that. And based on it, if certain objects we don't have any date, it means that particular objects it's never used by in the system by any of the users, right. So in that condition, customer has the visibility and the feasibility that they can deprecate it, or they can remove it from the to move this particular object from the newer version or S4 version, right? So they just simply just they identify that this particular object I've not used it for certain period, so I don't want to move this particular object in the our newer system, right? So they just go and just select it, and then they can start the depreciation analysis. Now, when you perform this particular activity, is nothing but a schedule a job in your environment, because we cannot directly go and delete or deprecate the object. Ideally, in this particular object, you are using the another custom objects as well, like your data elements, domains. You used it, and might be that particular domain, data element, function model is also used in another custom objects, right? So their interdependencies are there. So first we need to identify all those interdependencies, and based on that only you have the details, and then you can identify that this particular objects we need to remove it. So basically, once you select and do the depreciation analysis, it will trigger a job, and once the job is finished, you need to go to the analysis insights. It will give the results. What the result is, it's done by the our job, right? So basically we perform this analysis on particular this object, right? So if you see here, this particular objects are selected, do the depreciation analysis. Now it's completed. You see that object counts. So in particular this report, you see these are the custom data elements we are using it right now, right? And if it's last used in any other programs as well, you will get it here. So it will give all the interdependencies of this particular custom objects, right? And if you are okay that this particular objects we are not used anywhere for the longer period, right, you can directly go and select and do the mark for deletion. So what it will do, it will just simply go on the fly and delete the objects from the system. Okay. So in that way, this object is not available in the system, and it's not going to move in the your S4 environment, right? Is we just simply go and remove from the system. So this will really help you on to identify the objects and to delete the objects from the system, right? So this is the very first service we talked about. Now with the second one, the result analysis is nothing but as I told you on EHP, if the customer is on the very lower version like EHP 5 or 4 or 6, SAP is not offering any of the service to do the analysis. So we have created this service particular for that kind of a users, right? So they just simply go and execute schedule a job. It took somewhere some time, and based on that it will give the results, right? It will give all the kind of result what are the right now your P1, P2, P3s are there in the system, and based on that you can decide it how much time it will take and how many effort will be required to do the remediation, right? So basically it will help the customer on the ECC itself environment that this particular this many items are issues, and this much time will be required, so particularly to analyze the things before you started your migration or the your S4 system will be ready, correct? So this is what it help you on to identify those things, right? Now this after this one you can go and start with the our remediation part, right? Once your S4 system is ready, in the as typical in the S4 system, SAP is standard is offering you the ATC analysis, right? There is a standard T code is there, the ATC analysis. So where you can schedule your ATC analysis and took some time, and once the job is completed, you will get your ATC results, right? So basically, to get all those results inside our BTP cockpit, you just simply go to and use this particular service, give the run ID what you used it to schedule a ATC, and just submit a job. It took some hardly 10-15 minutes. It will get all those results from the your environment and push it into our BTP environment, right? But that will be completed. You simply go to the our manage remediation engine, and then all those ATC findings will be visible to you here directly. So you don't need to go anywhere or the ATC dashboard. Simply come here in our dashboard and you're able to see all the objects. You will get directly the visual interfaces of how many P1s are there, how many P2s are there, how many P3s are there, right? You simply go and filter it out, and then based on it you can start your remediations, right? We have so many filters here, like in your standard ATC you have the options to filter it out. With the similar way we have the simpler filters options are there. You just need to give the options like object type, name, packages, and you can start your remediations, right? Now, let me focus on the two options here. So as a part of our solution, we have created two options. Like one is the you're able to see the ATC remediate, and second is the clean core. Now, there is so many customer ask us on why we are going only to do the remediations, ATC remediations, right? Cannot we go and do the clean core remediations? Because SAP is also pushing us right now. The customer go and use the clean core manner, all the things, right? So the customer is asking that this particular objects I've created long back, I'm using it, but now I want to change it in clean core manner. So we have two options. That's why we have created like this, right? Now, typically with that we have created your the status as well. So the thing is, on the fly you can select all the objects and just click on this button. It will schedule a job in your system, and it will the our AI agent will start the remediation on the fly. Okay, it will go and pick the objects one by one and start doing the remediation. So to at given any given point of time, you want to see how many of our objects are completed, remediated, you will to come here on the dashboard and see the status. We have so many status we have created as a solution. This the remediation is started or not started. If you see the right now it's not completed, it is not started at all. It's started, you will get the status called in progress. If it's completed, we have another sub status called is completed without an error or completed with error, because sometimes a is also going the wrong way. Might be it gives some solution, but when we try to activate the your code, we'll get a syntactical errors, right? So in that condition we update the status, the remediation is completed with error. So in that condition, some manual intervention is required, right? Now, with that, you're also able to see the another important things called your transport and the package. So because the remediation is done by our AI agent, right? So you want to know in which transport is going to be captured or what is the package is there, right? So definitely, if your object is already logged in some of the transport, that particular transport is used by our AI agent. But if there is no transport is there right now is created for that particular object, then it will on the fly it will create their own transport and capture it and give the transport number here. Okay, so in future you have the number that is this particular object where is captured, right? So that is the thing. Now with that you have option, you can also simulate the things on the fly before doing the remediation. There's a ask is there, why cannot we see what the actual code changes is done by the agent? You want to see it before do the actual remediation, right? So that is also the possibility in our tool. I will take one of the example here. Like I will use this is particular one of the report is there. You create it. Let me filter it out. If you see here, there's so many issues are there. The issues are there. The P1 issues are there. P3 issues are there. So before doing the actual remediation, you can just simply navigate here. You will to see the existing code here. What is the existing code for this particular report, right? So to identify what are the actual where the actual issues in the line, you can simply just control F and do like is search like this uh, tags, right? There's a tag we have created, and this tag will be used by our AI agent to identify the particular lines, right, where the ATC issues are there. So if you see here on the line number 168, these ATC issues are there, which says select single is done, but possibly there's no unique key fields are used in the where condition, right? So that is a one kind of a ATC issue, right? So in similar manner, you identify all your ATC issues inside the code. Now, actual code you need to remediate. Before that you can do the simulation. You just simply come here and click on this particular button. Our AI agent will pick this particular code and start analyzing this particular code and create a context, and based on it it will go and try to resolve the issues. So it took some hardly 90 seconds for us, and then it will give the result. Just wait for some time. Perfect. So if you see here, your modified code is here directly here. We can we can search now. You can directly search with the command called diligent. So we have trained to the LLM, our AI agent, that whenever he do some changes, just mark with the comment called changes done by the diligent AI, right? So typically, what it does, it will comment it the existing code, if you see here in the right hand side, and then what the previous code, and then based on it will give the remediated code, right? Previously, there is a select single is there on the table T001K, right? Now, instead of the select single, SAP says if you are not passing using all the key fields on of this particular table, then definitely you need to use the up to one row, right? So that's what the remediation is done on this particular line, right? You can similar way you can go to the another line as well. So now this is the on you my left hand side, you will see the read table is there, right? It is done with the binary search, but there is a no shorting is there at all, correct? So that's the typical issue is there. Now it commented the existing code and add the short statement, and then the our read statement is there, correct? So that's the another one example. In the similar way, you can identify all those issues. There is another change is there. If you see here, previously there is a select single is there with the MBW. Now there's a two issues are there. Typically, there's a one issue is the select single is there. With that, there is a MBEW table is used. Now, SAP says instead of using the MBW, you need to use the newer APIs or CDS view, right? So that is what it replaced with the MBW. MBV underscore MBW is nothing but as a kind the newer version. SAP releases the one CDS view, right? So you need to use that new APIs or CDS views when you are doing the remediations. So my AI agents also knows what the newer versions are available for particular your database objects, right? Your tables, correct? So that will change it accordingly, right? So that's how you, if you are okay with all these particular things, it's automatically you can go and push it, and that the your actual program will go and modify it, right? So that's the thing is there which we are doing it. So previously complete task is it needs to be done by the your ABAPer, and took so much time. And even though there is a chances are there, it's going to be these issues are there, right? So but with the help of this particular utility, we are 100% sure there is no issues are there with that, right? If is there any issue, it will update the status that there is a issue, the manual intervention is required, but there's a very less chances for that particular things, right? So that's the one thing is there. If you don't want to do the ATC one, you can also go and do and change it the clean core manner. I will took it some another example for that particular thing. So we have the time constraint, so we'll directly jump to the next part, right? Now, with that, we are also offering a one more service called the task script generator. So basically, that's the one service we talked about when we are in the slide, right? So basically, this complete test script generation is all automatically done by our AI agent itself, right? So once remediation is done, is completed in your system, it automatically generate the test script. You can simply go to the our use this particular documentation service, right? You just go inside this, the one remediation we perform right now itself. So for that particular thing, if you see here, the result is already generated by my AI agent, right? The before ATC result and after ATC results, and it will compare both the documents, and then it will give it the testing is successful or not successful, right? If the both the documents are functionally or technically equivalent, it will give the result that the functionally or technically equivalent is there. But if there is any discrepancy, then definitely you will get the result that there is a difference, the functionally difference or the technically difference are there. So in that condition, definitely your functional or technical need to be involved and do the testing manually, right? At any given point of time, you can come here and download it the document as well. Just simply click it here, it will download the document for you, and then you can see your manually you can also compare both the documents. If you want, I can open both the documents for you. It's downloaded right now. So it's after document, it's before document. See it here. So if you see here, my after document is there. There's a one P3 is still pending, and there's the execution result is there, right? If I go and see the my before document, see here, the same document object name is there, but there are so many etc issues are there. There are so many p3s are there, p1s are there, and this particular result is there. Correct. So the thing is, my AI agent will compare both the documents, and then based on it will decide it that this the testing is successful or it's not successful. It's not only just checking your the execution result, but it's actually go and decode all the things are there in the execution result, like what is the exact order number, order types are there. It's not only matching with the similar numbers, but it's checking that the order number is created or not in both the things. In ECC is created or generated, in S4 also is generated or not, right? Because might be there is a difference. S4 setup is different and ECC setup is different, correct? So that's what it's only not comparing the same output, but it's actually comparing the content. Okay, so that's the thing is there with that. Now let me go back to the dashboard. At any given point of time, if this document is not there in the automated way, you can also go and individually this service, and you can generate a document. Just simply just click it here. You need to select your object type and give the object name, and just click on the execute, right? We see here we have object type called program, classes, function model. Give the object names, and then you need to go and execute this particular utility. It will just simply download the document for you. Okay. Now let me go and cover the two important services as well. One is the rep generator. So the thing is, as I told you that SAP is also pushing so many customer going forward. Whatever the custom code you are building it or developing it, or maybe whatever the custom code you build it already in the ECC environment, ideally you need to change it in the clean core manner, like with the help of rep and other artifacts, right? So that's the one of the service we have created. With this help of this service, simply on the fly with any kind of a ALB report, you can convert into the your RFP artifacts, right? And that typically is very easy to consumable in any of the Fury templates, right? So just simply give your program name. Let me pick one of the program name. Let me go and see in the system. It be, sorry, I have disconnected. Wait a moment. It's connecting. Perfect. It's connected. Let me go into the system. Perfect. So if you see here, this is one kind of a report is there, and when you execute it, it will give the output to you, right? So let me try to convert this particular report in the clean core manner with the help of RIP objects, right? You just simply give your program name and click on the get detail, right? It will give the program code what the right now program is doing it. So you can check it what the exactly the functionality of this particular program, right? Then after that, you can check it. There's another navigator is there where it will ask where you want to capture artifacts, right? So you need to give the particular TR. So let me pick one of the transport. Right, and just simply click on this create RAP artifact, right? So again, it will took some time, might be 90 seconds or 1 minute, because if you know what is the RAP is something RESTful ABAP programming model, right? Where it's not only the single object, it consists with the multiple objects, right? Then only it will create a single view objects, right? Business object for you. So there's so many artifacts when you go and create it. as a part of this, like your basic CDS view, your intermediate CDS views, your consumption views. Based on it, your classes, implementation classes, behavior classes, then the service bindings, and ultimately the service definitions and all, right? And typically that definitions you are going to directly consume in a Fury template, correct? So it took some time because it need to create the context. Based on it, to create all the artifacts and encapsulate all those artifacts into single BO, right? So just a second, be with me. Let's see the result. Now, with that, once the objects are generated, it will give all the objects, and even though it will give the status as well, it's created without any error, it's created with any error or not, right? So that if it's created with any kind of error, some manual intervention is required, and then on the fly you can remove the syntax error, and then you can also use it, correct? So that's why you created the status as well. So at any given point of time you can just come here and see it. That's what kind of a report you already converted into the RAP, and which is still in the pending, right? Okay, I think we are okay. Wait a moment. Mhm. Perfect. So now if you see here, all the artifacts are generated as it is. You have in the activated status with the successful message, right? So now simply you can open this particular T is O for nothing but we have nomenclature. That particular nomenclature we are storing it somewhere in our TVRVC variable. So for if the customer want to change it, they can change it, and accordingly it will generate the artifacts. So you just simply go here, open this particular thing, and you can see the results, right? Let me see, the service binding is available for us. Let me open it. Now it's already published for us. You just need to select this one and just preview it. It will give the Fury report for us. It will just ask me for the user ID and password. And perfect. So now if you see here on the fly, we just converted the LV report in the Fury, right? With the help of our RAP. So there's multiple ways to convert the things, but we are using the clean core approach here, correct? Perfect. So if you see here, the result is here. You just execute, you will get all the results, navigation, all the things on the fly. Correct. So this is another one important service for you. You can utilize it and just convert your any of the LV reports, the ECC object in the RIP. Correct. Now that in the last you we have I can show you our AI agent as well. You just simply click it here. We show you the AI agent. Sorry, I need to disconnect with my VPN. Again, sorry for this. Again, I need to click it here. Perfect. So once you click it here, you're able to see over the agent. Basically, will give the you can play with this agent as well. You just simply give to your code what you want to do it. You want to convert the code in the clean core or the ATC, or I want to do the changes for the public cloud, or are we going to do the with the private cloud, and what version you're going to use it. Just simply go and execute. You will get the result. With that, it will also generate the context, and it will also give the security checks what the code is generated. So it's a compile with your SAP S4 version with the SAP security checks, and as well it will also generate the documentation for this particular code, right? So which is very helpful for the functional to understand what the particular code is doing, and based on you can decide how you need to go and do the testing, right? So that is also is possible for this tool. So that is what this particular tool will help you to complete migration process starting from the ECC to S4, correct? There are another so many services also we have created which will be very useful for you as you started your migration process, like to identify the objects which are logged in the different transport, right? Your ATC validations is done or not. You can do the spool analysis as well at any given point of time. So these are so many services we have added, and even though we are in the on the pipeline to adding so many services more, we already have a pipeline for that. Okay, so that is what this complete cockpit. Let me go back to the presentation. No, this complete utility we are doing it. So this is what the key benefit you're getting it from this complete solution, right? As John told you, this the reduction in your TCO. You can reduce your ECC to S for conversion workload. Typically, because if I remember any of the your conversion, which has around 10,000 of a line of a code to remediate, it took somewhere around your 5 months of efforts, right? And around your 10 or 15 developers, ABAP developers is required. With the help of this particular utility, you can complete this complete activity within a month. Within a month. So because the remediation will be done within a day or 2 days, right? But after that, we need to validate all the things. We need to perform one round of a testing, and then we need to hand over the system to the functionals, right? So, but you can compare it 5 month to the 1 month. That's the difference is there around your 80% to 70% of reduction there, correct? Secondly, the testing or reporting coverage. As I show you, it's automatically generated so many documents for you. So it's not you always need to depend on your functional to do the testing, and then you need to confirm that the remediation is work perfectly and there is no issues are there. On the fly, generate a document for you, and based on you can decide it, right? So these are the very key benefits you're getting it from this particular tools, correct? So that's all for this particular demonstration for today's. John, you can continue.
Yeah, thanks, Earl. So hopefully everybody got a good understanding of how this tool can support, especially in the migration of your SAP solutions into the cloud. So, like I said, the recording's available. We'll send that out. I'm just going to open it up for any questions, comments, or anything that anybody wanted to ask before we close up. Okay, is there anything in the chat window as well?
Let's see.
Questions? Okay.
Perfect.
Um, so I'll send it out. I think I have everybody's emails from the registration. Thanks, Raul. I appreciate it. And
Thank you.
yeah, look forward to trying to help you guys out. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.